For a time, we tried to contact him by radio, but no response.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into episode 44 of the Dumb Marks Podcast, your favorite Saturday brunch bunch. Gentlemen, how long would you consider a nap to be? Average time for a nap. What's a nap? An hour?
I was going to say half hour.
I'm on my second day already, so
it
varies.
Anything under an hour.
What amount of time would you say it's not considered no longer a nap, but like you're actually sleeping?
Your nap it's a time period. It's a part of the day.
So it's a certain part of the day, right?
It's part of the day. But if it's in between my morning and night, or however my day goes, it's a nap.
8 hours is not a nap, Jay.
That's a sleep.
That's a work day.
That's a nap.
That's the recommended the doctor recommended time for sleep at night is 8 hours, and you talking about I just took an 8 hour nap. That's not a nap.
If I feel good waking up, it was a nap.
If you're doing 8 hour nap plus however much sleep, that's hibernation.
Yeah, you're hibernating at that point. Absolutely.
Maybe about 3 or 4 hours of sleep.
You're hibernating. You're waking up to go to the bathroom, and then you're going back to sleep. You're definitely in hibernation.
So your sleep's more of a nap than, and your nap's more your sleep.
Yeah.
So that's what you do. Is you do 8 hours of work, then 8 hours nap, then 8 hours sleep. So that's your whole 24 hours.
Well, I get no 8 hours of sleep. Nap though.
Welcome in on this holiday weekend. Anybody got plans for the 4th? The world's opening back up, supposedly. People are out and about doing a bunch of things. Is anybody have big plans for tomorrow night or the weekend in general?
I'm debating if I want to go watch fireworks.
Mm-hmm. I can watch them right outside my house.
That's true.
Yeah, I can
go
stand at the top of my yard, and I can see like three different fireworks shows going off at once. So I don't venture too far from the house when it comes to watching fireworks. But
honestly, don't care for fireworks. So
it wasn't a big thing for me growing up.
Same here.
Neither one of my kids really liked fireworks when they were younger, so we didn't do that. And I can't do like downtown fireworks. That's just too many people.
Yeah, I'm not going downtown.
Can't do that.
Then plus growing up where we grew up at too, is it a firework or is it a gunshot?
So one time I went to watch Kennywood fireworks, and we were talking about them, like as they were going off, we were like, this is kind of like that perfect time, like, if you're shooting off fireworks to do something. Well, next thing we started hearing was police sirens and cop cars, and something happened at Kennywood while we were talking about it. It's like, yep, because you never know.
Since you brought up Kennywood, I got something to bring up real quick. But before I do that, shout out to Jesse M for going on to the merch store, ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod, and picking up a Dumbmark shirt. We appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Love you guys for doing that. The sale's still going on now, 20% off through July 5th. So go over, cop some merch. Me and Chris got the original logo on. We got the After Dark shirt up there, and one got to go with all our lovely faces. So we appreciate the support. Thank you guys for doing that. We got something else working and brewing something else. So we'll pay attention and be on the lookout for a 4th edition of the Dumb Marks pod. So we appreciate that again. And
my
Chris,
Dumb Mark ass just realized I had the After Dark background still on.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Thanks everybody for tuning in last night on the After Dark episode, breaking down the WWE's 50 greatest tag teams. We appreciate you guys for hopping on a Friday night and kicking it with your boys. Chris, since you brought up Kennywood, I saw this morning. The Phantom's Revenge landed at the number 2 spot in USA Today's 10 Best Reader's Choice poll for the best roller coaster in the country.
Interesting.
I don't know about that. But,
Very interesting. It's
Yep.
fun. I like it, but
Um,
those
do you
powerhouses
think the
up in
Phantom's
Cedar Point.
Revenge? Do you think the Phantom's Revenge is better than the Steel Phantom?
I don't, but
No, I like the Steel Phantom.
I forget what was the difference.
They
They
took
took
the
out the
loops
loops.
out. They took
The
out the
loops.
loops.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not the laser loop, so
That ride was never open. That ride stayed broke down. Like that was, but yeah. So the only roller coaster that beat out the Phantom's Revenge was SeaWorld's Mega Coaster.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah,
I think there's been some better.
No, there's better rides out there. I haven't rode them yet, but I know people who rode them.
So the Mako, SeaWorld's Mako in Orlando was number 1. Phantom's Revenge was 2. Trying to see if there's any. Phoenix, never heard of it at Nobles. Fury 325 at Carowinds. Lightning Rod at Dollywood. Still Vengeance at Cedar Point. Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa. The Voyage in Holiday World. Millennium Force at Cedar Point was 9. And then Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure Universal Islands of Adventure was 10. And that was USA Today.
Okay.
So it was a panel of experts partnered with the editors to pick the initial nominees, and then the top 10 winners were determined by a popular vote. For it to be a popular vote situation and Phantom's Revenge landing at number 2 is the second best roller coaster in the country by a popular vote, I'll stand by that. I'll rep that.
Oh, for sure.
So, you know, this ain't a Will Ferrell situation where you ain't first, you're last. We'll wave the silver medal.
Kenny would definitely take that. They would.
Yes, sir.
They'll tout the shit out of that too.
Yes, they would.
Oh yeah, the tweet was tremendous that they put out.
There'll be a plaque before you enter the ride.
Yeah. So with that being said, what do you guys want to get into here in the intro? That just caught my eye, something to bring up local ties to Pittsburgh. But anything of note this week that you guys want to get into that we normally cover in the intro?
Yeah. Before we get into too much stuff, before we get into TV and movies and all that fun stuff for the week, A Quiet Place 2 recently came out, and I don't know if you guys had heard that they announced afterwards that they're going to do a spinoff. Not a fan, huh?
No, not the second one.
So they're doing a spinoff, and we were actually able to get our hands on the trailer that they've released already. So I'm actually able to share it with everybody on the show today.
I don't even know what this show is or this movie is. Never
heard of A Quiet Place?
No.
I'll explain it to you.
All right, so before we get into things, let me just share the clip.
Are they sponsoring the show now? Like, what are we doing here?
We are
giving out free pub. Oh, tremendous! 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 For those of you guys that don't know, that is how we ended the podcast last week. After the sign off, Donald's first foray into producing the show ended with a solid 10 seconds of him just sitting there and me shouting at my computer, "You're still live." But I was muted.
Damn, you caught me because I'm really thinking there's a trailer in that stuff. You know?
I knew it was gonna be some BS. I was just like, don't be me.
I'm thinking there's going to be a trailer. I see myself was like, where's the trailer?
Wow, tremendous. Well done. Well done. Well done.
I love Donald.
Yeah, you need to chop that up and put that out on all socials. That'll get clickbait. That's a clickbait headline.
It is, yeah. It is.
Which I missed was him explaining himself afterwards, like he was in trouble. It was hilarious.
He was like a third grader walking to the principal's office. I didn't mean to snap my pencil like that. I'm sorry. Don't call my mom. Please don't call my mom. She beats me.
You know what? You know what? You know what? Fuck this shit.
With that being said, the silent killer himself. What do you got this week from gaming news? The silent Mamba, the silent Reaper.
Now this week in gaming, Sony announced that Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut will be allowed to pre-order in August, and it will have another map on the game and a couple other extra features. But it's coming out for PS5 and PS4. But the kicker is, if you bought the original version for PS4 and you want to put it to your PS5, you have to pay $10 extra for the PS5 graphics and then the extra $20 for the expansion itself. So basically, the game will come out to $90 if you have the original copy. So you're better off just buying the $70 copy, new one that will be coming out.
This makes me not even want to buy a new generation system.
It is killer. It is. Also, Sony bought 3 game developers, so they will be making first-party games just for the PS4 or PS5. The one is House Marquee, and the biggest game coming from that was Returnal, if you know that. Nix's. They don't really have any games, but they port a lot of games to PC. So that's saying that Sony's taking stuff to the PC platform now. And the biggest one is Blue Point. Blue Point does all the real good remake games like Demon Souls and Shadows of the Colossus on the PS4. And the final thing I have for gaming is the PlayStation State of Play. It is looking like it's going to be either July 8th or July 15th. So that's either next Thursday or the Thursday after that. The biggest thing coming from that is they're supposed to show God of War Ragnarok gameplay. And everybody is real excited about that. They're also going to show more gameplay from Horizon Forbidden West. And they said that they have a special surprise after the State of Play is over with of a game being announced. And rumors around saying it's either going to be Killzone is coming back or SOCOM is coming back. And that's all from the gaming world.
So how does that work for PC gaming, like with Sony? Because I thought it was like, Xbox, Microsoft had that for like Windows, or is it, can they just release everything?
I think they're releasing their stuff on Steam on that platform. But also Sony's making their own PC platform where they can release their exclusives on there too. Mm-hmm.
I didn't have nothing for gaming this week. I didn't see anything. The only other thing that I had to bring up in the intro was I saw the trailer, the actual trailer this week, not the Dumbart's production that you saw earlier, but the Many Saints of Newark, the prequel to The Sopranos. Starring Michael Gandolfini as young Tony Soprano. Man, does he look just like his father. But I am sold based off of the trailer. I was, excited to begin with, but after seeing that, you never want to go into something too hyped up because then it never lives up to your expectations. So I'm trying to temper it a little bit. But yeah, if you are a fan of The Sopranos, go seek that trailer out, watch that, because it'll definitely get you excited. And the best part was whenever they hit the music to the show at the end of the trailer, and I was like, got that goosebump moment for somebody that was a Sopranos fanatic back when that show had its run. Some may argue it's one of the best shows of all time. You're up there with The Wire, and that run of shows for HBO during that time was just tremendous. Sopranos, The Wire, Entourage, just such great TV back then.
I rewatched the whole series last year during the pandemic and still holds up. I rewatched it getting excited for whenever Many Saints of Newark was supposed to come out last year. So I was kind of watching it ahead of time, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, seeing how it turns out.
Yeah, so that's all I have for the intro. And anybody got anything else?
I got a bunch of snacks. Try to roll through pretty quick. Coming out in this holiday season, M&M's is going to do what they're calling snowballs, which will basically be like their M&M pretzel, just with white chocolate. Kit Kat's jumping on the Fruit Loops train, and they're doing a Kit Kat fruity cereal. I did try their key lime Kit Kat last week. I actually really liked it. If you remember, like those like sugar wafer cookies that like your grandparents used to buy, that's exactly what it tasted like.
The chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla ones.
Yeah. So
those were a staple at Grandma's house.
Yeah,
you always count on those being there. That next to the candy dish that had the little strawberries.
Yes.
The little strawberries, butterscotches, and the Lifesaver circle peppermints.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like those cookies, I think you like the key lime, and maybe the fruity cereal one will be like that too. Pillsbury, they're coming out with mini cinnamon sticks, like in the tube. So that's kind of interesting. Looks like little like mini cinnamon breadsticks. If you like Bischoff cookies, they're coming out with like actual like Oreo type sandwiches. So it'll be like the cookie sandwich and then vanilla or chocolate cream. A bunch of people, I think it was Toll House and Pillsbury, they're coming out with what they're calling like cookie dough, like poppins, like little bite-sized cookie dough that's ready to eat instead of baking, because that's like the new thing now. Everybody's eating like raw edible cookie dough.
You could just eat cookie dough.
Yeah. I guess it's not supposed to have the egg in it. I think that's the whole difference.
Were you on the black web of snacks this week?
There was tons of stuff.
Off all this stuff. Like, were you talking to Baby D? Is that where you get the from? You that Baby D to get the inside scoop?
Anytime I went on Instagram this week, new snack. It's like, okay. Cheerios is coming out with a red, white, and blue for the summer. So it's supposed to start. They were supposed to hit shelves this week for 4th of July, and then I guess it's going to go through the Olympics.
Yeah, that's all.
And then I saw 2 Space Jam stuffs coming out. There's going to be a Space Jam cereal.
That's all.
So, okay, that's out. Okay. And then I saw it's Kool-Aid Jammers. They're doing it. It's just going to be their normal tropical punch, just repackaged for Space Jam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we've talked about Dunkaroos on the show before. You know how they've been back for a little bit. Dunkaroos it should be on the shelves now. Instead of the vanilla, it's a chocolate icing. And that's everything I had for snacks.
Shout out to Baby D for getting us that information.
Get your diabetes on.
Anybody? Anything else? I did want to touch on, since we had the male R&B groups last week on One Gotta Go. Shout out to everybody that viewed and watched and commented and played along with us on that. The Thursday night, the battle of Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown on Versus. I was all in my bag. Like I said, R&B fanatic. I love R&B. It was everything I was hoping it was going to be for. And if you want to get a feel for what it was like outside whenever those dudes were putting out those types of songs, go back and watch the replay of that battle, because it'll definitely bring up memories, and I'm sure certain songs will instantly flash a reminder of a certain girl from a time frame way back when. So shout out to that. That was really good. But yeah, Versus, I mean, the Bow Wow and Soulja Boy one from last Saturday, I flicked it on real quick, and it wasn't for me. Like, I'm aware of those two and like the songs that they have out and that, and I listened to some of that, but that wasn't specifically for my gen. Like, I didn't get into them like everybody else did. So, but they were entertaining. They were definitely entertaining. They were one of the most entertaining verses that they've had, just based off of personality wise and what they did. A lot of people, they had surprise guests show up. The Brat was out there, Omarion was out there, Jermaine Dupri, Little Romeo showed up. So they brought out the people that they were associated with and whatnot. But it was a very entertaining show for what it was worth. All right. Anybody got anything else?
Does anybody watch Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
Okay. The HBO series that's not being picked up for season 2, and apparently it's causing a little uproar online. But
Was that the Catherine McPhee show?
no, that's the Journey Smollett show. The black girl off of Full House.
Okay.
One of Stephanie's friends.
There's only one Stephanie friend.
No recollection. Okay. Harry Connick has tapped his Duddy.
That would be the one you remember, Donald, old felony ass. You got a rap sheet, hit Donald up. He's all for that.
She's the black friend in every sitcom.
I don't know.
I'm not touching that one. We can move on.
Harry Connick has been tapped as Daddy Warbucks in the Annie live action play for NBC. Those have been surprisingly good.
Those are coming back now.
No, none. You got to at least watch The Wiz.
Yeah, The Wiz wasn't. I mean, it's not like The Wiz, The Wiz with Michael Jackson, but it was better than what I was expecting it to be. I'll definitely check it out whenever it comes on. Like, I watched that. The original Annie was great. The Jamie Foxx remake Annie, I didn't really care for it too much.
It was okay. I went in with low expectations, so it was better than I expected.
Yeah, but I'll check that out whenever.
I enjoyed Hulk and The Little Mermaid, so those were good.
Yeah,
interested to see what they do with this.
Yep. All right, is that it?
That's it. Nothing else seems to be. Black Panther 2 started filming.
Cool.
Yeah, Marvel's gonna have the next 4 years on lockdown.
Yeah.
If you go and look and see what's coming out and the order that it's coming out in, and that's just movies alone. I'm not even talking about the shows that they're going to be putting out too, which they're 3 for 3 so far. WandaVision was a hit, Falcon and Winter Soldier was a hit, and Loki is a definite hit. I'm hooked on that. Can't wait to see how the last 2 episodes play out. We'll break that down once it's all done.
I'm just waiting for the next installment of Batman, and then Batman after that, and then the Batman spinoff after that.
All right. With that being said, let's wrap it up. Let's get into bell to bell from this week. All right, a lot of stuff went down in the world of professional wrestling this week. We'll try to keep it to some main generalized topics and not go show for show because we don't want this to turn into a 4-hour podcast. So to pull the curtain back and ruin kayfabe of the show, we tend to send a group text message with topics that we try to stick to each and every single week. Who wants to go first? Where do you want to start at?
I'll start. We got the first 6 months of the year underway now. Does anybody have what they think might be the match of the year contender in mind yet?
Oh boy.
I know what mine is, but
you have a definitive one? Because I don't know if I can necessarily narrow it down to one. I got matches that I would put into the list to be voted on for a match of the year at the end of the year. I don't know if I can. I'd have to really think about.
No, I'm not saying this will definitely be the match of the year for me, but right now going in, right now for me, Sasha Bianca from WrestleMania.
Okay.
That's up there for me.
That would be in my list.
That'll be in my list.
I'd have Sasha Bianca. I'd have Britt and Thunder Rosa. I'd have Josh Alexander and TJP. Their 60-minute Iron Man match. I know there's ones that I'm glossing over right now off the top of my head.
I like for me, Walter Ciampa. I really enjoyed that one.
Walter Ciampa would be on my list as well.
The triple threat main event at Mania, Reigns, Edge, and Daniel. I really like that.
I liked it, but I don't think I would put that in my match of the year candidate. Omega and Jungle Boy was really good last weekend.
I got to go back and rewatch that.
That one may
Yeah.
That
due to
may
time
be.
constraints.
Yeah, the problem, like there's so much wrestling.
There is so much,
Mhm.
It's literally 7 days a week now. So like to narrow matches down, like there's so many matches that we're forgetting about just because of how much wrestling transpires that like
Yeah.
somebody can throw something else up in the comments or whatever, and it'll be like,
completely-
oh yeah,
yeah.
it's definitely on my list. And then you say that, and then before you know it, you have a 75-page list of matches that you would consider match of the year candidates whenever. Yeah, that'll be. I mean, that's going to be interesting when it comes down to end of the year and you know how that plays out. Who you think would get it? But those off the top of my head, those ones that rattled off were right now. I would say without deep diving into it, that list of 4 to 5 for me would be up there so far for the first half of the year. So,
Oh, good.
With that being said, I mean, let's just jump into. We'll start with AEW because they went with
2 shows.
two shows this week. Saturday night's Dynamite, around 660,000 people tuned in Saturday night, which, given the NBA playoffs and that, and NHL Stanley Cup Finals, I thought that was a good number for them on Saturday night.
Mhm.
Enjoyed the show. Like I said, Kenny and Jungle Boy was fantastic. I really that main event lived up to the hype. Jungle Boy stepped up. He's super hot right now. You can see him being one of the future stars of AEW, and that's kind of where I want to go with this topic, based off of Saturday night, and then as well as this past Wednesday's Dynamite. Being main evented by Sammy and MJF. The young stars, 25 and under, they're all in AEW for the most part. You got one-offs here and there in companies, but to have, 5 to 7 deep of young stars that can be your cornerstone of your company 15 years from now, 10 years from now, it'd be hard-pressed to find a roster that beats out AEW's whenever you're talking Jungle Boy, MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, Max Caster's getting better. He's only, he's young. And that's not even counting some of the women, but I don't know how you guys feel with that lineup. Can you think of another promotion that has a better lineup than those 4 to 5 right there that I just rattled off right now?
That you can actually see stars built now. Like you can look at other rosters and go, oh, this one has potential, that one has potential, but
Yeah.
MJF, Sammy Guevara, Jungle Boy are all future champions of some sort in AEW.
I don't think he'd being the guy though.
You don't see who being the guy.
None of them. Maybe MJF.
MJF definitely has
Yeah, I
potential.
see
to be the
MJF
guy.
for sure.
The other ones, no, I just see him as like, somebody you put the title on, but not being the guy.
Jungle Boy reminds me a lot of Cody whenever he was younger, because like when Cody came in, he was like thin as a rail in WWE, like no muscle at all, and how he's bulked himself up, and you can see Jungle Boy starting to put on a little bit more mass as he goes along in AEW, and I think if he can continue to do that and grow, kind of like Cody did, I think he could be a player. Not saying he is a future champion, but could be a player.
I can see him. I can see Jungle Boy doing that. I can see him taking that Daniel Bryan route.
Yeah,
he got the fans behind him for sure, pushing the hell out of him
for sure.
You don't see Sammy as a guy?
Not the guy, no.
I do. I absolutely do. I
He's
mean,
got the talent in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, like there, and he's had praise from. I mean, Conan was talking him up years ago on his podcast as being, one of the future stars of the business, and once people see him and he gets national exposure, like he's gonna blow up. And his build from where he started the first Dynamite, walking out with that match against Cody with the man head on, to now, I mean, it's
two different people.
And that's where I think AEW doesn't get enough credit, is the way that they've built these guys up over the course of not even 2 full years.
Yeah.
you see the evolution with Sammy. You see MJF. You see the evolution with Jungle Boy. Darby is another one. Orange Cassidy. He was just on Busted Open. He was on Busted Open yesterday, and he was like, he himself admitted, he goes, I was never expecting to be as popular and as over as I am. Like, he didn't see himself being that guy, but I mean, you can't deny he's a top star.
The crowd loves him.
Yeah, so like, when you have that, you're able to connect with the crowd on whatever level it is that you connect with the crowd on. You got a chance at turning into a guy.
I mean, they put him in that position. His feud with Jericho elevated him to that. They took the ball with him and they ran with it for a little bit to see if he could do it, and he could.
Yeah, and you're having them work with people. Jungle Boy's worked with Cody. He's worked with Jericho. He's worked with Omega, and he's delivered in all three of those matches. So when you're putting out performances that you're putting out with those three, it's going to be hard for you not to get over with the crowd.
Yeah. Even
for somebody that doesn't speak. You know what I mean? Like, how many words have we heard Jungle Boy say on Dynamite in the almost 2 years? And he's getting the pops and the reaction that he's getting. I'll be real interested to see when they start touring, starting this week, the reactions for those types of people, because while Daly's Place did have fans and you could hear it somewhat, a lot of people that were at Daly's Place, when they tweet out during the show, when they go back home and watch it, they go, what you hear on TV doesn't justify how much of a fan reaction certain people get. So whether it's the sound, the microphones, whatever, but I think
the open area,
it's going to be real interesting to see how fans react to these individuals given this time frame of pandemic era wrestling with no crowd, to see who's truly over, who has grown over this time period that people want to see live whenever they buy a ticket. Will be real interesting to see for all these promotions.
Yeah,
not just AEW.
I'm really looking forward to this week, just seeing, like you said, how many fans are actually going to show up there and just their reaction. I think they're going to be excited to be back, the ones that go and give it their all.
Yeah, just touring in general. Yeah, just touring in general, because different sides of the country, see how they get reactions from.
And their July 14th show, that's Fighter Fest Night 1, I believe.
Yeah.
That's already sold out. And that was just that venue is like a little under 5,000 people. And
that's Houston?
Not sure. I
know it's Texas, but I don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. I saved off the tweet. But yeah, it's sold out already. So that's a good sign for them, for whatever capacity that these venues are going to allow to have, for them to sell out already a couple weeks in advance is a good sign for them.
I did check this week. It looks like tickets are still available for here in Pittsburgh, but I remember the last time it wasn't sold out either. So wasn't sure if I really expected to sell out this time either.
Yeah, we'll be here. The Dunmarks will be there live on both nights, Wednesday and Friday, for Dynamite and the first ever Rampage. So if you see us, give us a shout out. We might do some things with some people there, maybe interview the crowd a little bit, get some reactions being back live at a wrestling event for the first time in almost 2 years. So looking forward to that, getting out and interacting with you marks as we go live to that show.
If you see Jason, buy him some snacks. He'll love you forever. That's the only reason why he's there. It's food. Instead
of giving him a handshake with a $20 bill, give him a WWE pin. He'll love you for life.
While on Dynamite, he's going to be Cody Rhodes' guest, so he's going to come out with him.
Yeah. The other thing that I really enjoyed from Dynamite, Miro, the Redeemer, God's champion, had two great nights, a Saturday night promo and then the match on Wednesday night with Brian Pillman Jr., which was better than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that match, but his line on Saturday night, First off, I'd like to thank God for keeping me powerful and keeping my hot wife flexible. That is fantastic. And then we finally get the full makeover, the full transformation.
Yes.
The best man is dropped. He has new music, new intro, new gear. I love the theme song. I love the music.
Mhm.
It fits that character that he's going with. So I'm like I said, I'm here for this Miro run to see what he does, and I think he'll surprise a lot of people that say he can't be a guy like that dude down there in the bottom left.
I know I was critical of Miro at the beginning of AEW because I felt like all they were doing was the same stuff WWE did with him. But I'm glad where he's at right now. Like I think we're finally going to see him in the position he should be in.
Well, you got to start somewhere and build on that, right? So you got to have a reason why he's coming in, and that was the initial storyline that they did, and a lot of that was his input, But now you're starting to see not only his vision, but as well as what they see for him.
And a lot of that gaming stuff is probably him. It's probably what he's like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So no, I think he had a great week. And then long-term storytelling. The seeds
that was my favorite part of this week.
Omega and Hangman. Nice touch with the Dark Order. Mm-hmm. Kenny, that Wednesday night, Kenny in the ring on the mic saying what he said. That's the Omega that I want to see as my champion. I don't need the silly villain cartoon Omega that I'll get you next week and all that. I don't need that. Give me the guy that was out in the ring Wednesday night, and I can roll with him as that type of heel champion.
Bought that inner Triple H.
What was with the beard and the mustache gang on Wednesday night?
Like I was going to say, like the Young Bucks and Good Brothers, like that stuff is so stale to me now. Like it got really, really stale, especially the Young Buck stuff.
Yeah, they need to change their whole stuff up.
Like it is stale, falling flat completely.
Yeah,
but with the Omega stuff, I like how they didn't use their names at all or anything. If this is who you're talking about, then I know, not name drop it at all.
Yeah, and I like the follow up with the backstage segment with Hangman going in, and basically saying what the fuck, guys, like, and then them coaching him up. Just like he coached them up. So, I think all parties involved in that were good and played right. And I'm curious to see if they do go with Hangman and Omega at All Out, how the build goes for the summer. I don't want it to be, if they're going to do it, don't pull the trigger into All Out.
Yeah.
Don't rush it on Fyter Fest. Don't rush it on a special. Build it out, slow burn it, play it out, and then go through and have it happen at All Out.
I've been thinking about this the past couple of days. If they would do a match, say at a Fyter Fest or something, and then it ends in some, screwy finish, and then it continues to build to All Out, I'm cool with that. I just don't want to see it be a match at a Fyter Fest and then different opponent at All Out. This needs to be. That's one of my biggest complaints about AEW is that they don't do long-term story for their pay-per-view builds, and this has potential. If you're giving it to me this week, that you're throwing the seeds down for early September pay-per-view, I'm all for it to build this up for the summer.
It's just like Omega said too, let him do stuff with the other belts he have. Yeah.
You saw how much the crowd popped for Page at Double or Nothing. If you do a summer tour now for through all these cities and see how he does, I think you're going to get the pops each week, and it's just continue to elevate them until you get to All Out, and it'll be a nice build.
Yeah, and lastly for AEW, just want to touch on the card this week for Road Rage in Miami. It's a hell of a lineup, dude. Like, they got the Young Bucks will take on Penta and Eddie for the titles in a street fight. That was just announced yesterday. Cody Rhodes and QT in a strap match. You got the Angle, Hager, Santana, Ortiz against the Pinnacle, Wardlow, and FTR. You got Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy against the Bunny and the Blade. Jericho and MJF face off, and then you have the in-ring debut of Andrade El Idolo against Matt Sydal.
Can we start with tethered matches? Straps, chains, cowbells, all of it.
I don't need those types of matches out there.
Yeah.
But that lineup that could be a pay-per-view. Minus a World Heavyweight Championship match. You can see those matches on a card.
Yeah. No Miro next week. That's interesting.
Yeah, the only match that got taken off, which I thought was the right thing to do by AEW, was the coffin match. Given the fact that they're in Miami and the unfortunate event with the condo collapsing, in rightful taste, they pulled that match because that wouldn't have been the best look to have. So, being socially relevant and paying attention to what's going on and not just being in the wrestling bubble and doing what they're going to do no matter what. So shout out to them for that. Anybody got anything else on AEW before we jump over to some other topics for this week?
I'm good on AEW.
Okay. NXT wise this week, a couple of things that caught my eye. I like the Gargano and Cross segments throughout the show itself. Xia Li knocked out Mercedes Martinez. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think
Jeff Rollins, man.
Wasn't on purpose, but she was out cold.
Yeah, she was.
The way her head hit off the mat. Hopefully she's okay. I know she got looked at after the show. Possible concussion. Haven't heard any update on it, but
remember, she broke Aaliyah's nose. And then had a couple close calls between there, too. Feet.
It's her not pulling back enough, or if it's just, accidental where it's like, because you saw Mercedes try to get the shoulder up, to take the brunt of the impact, and it missed, but she was out on her feet. Like
I thought she sold it until the ref was like,
no, that was a straight UFC KO.
And then after that, the camera panned up towards Lee, like they wasn't even showing Mercedes at all. That's what I knew was serious. Yeah.
So hopefully she's okay, and then hopefully Rebel Reba is okay as well. I don't, hopefully she doesn't. I haven't heard anything else on her as well, but that was a definite knee injury. I don't know if she blew it out or what, but
I heard dislocated knee. I'm not sure if that's definitely what it is, but
is it the same one?
It's the same knee, yeah. So you never want to see that. But yeah, hopefully that's something that can be. You hate to see it with her because she worked so hard to get back, and then she's the talent and just hasn't been able to stay in the ring healthy enough to show what she can do. So
and she can go, but as long as they continue to use her with Britt, even if she's injured, she'll be fine.
Yeah,
right. So NXT, so the Cross Johnny interactions throughout the show, Zaya's knockout kick, and then
I wasn't expecting Johnny to be the guy.
I'm not mad that they're going with Gargano. Especially based off of what they've done so far. So I like what they're doing with it. And then the other interaction that I really liked, which was just all to build up to this week's, what is it? Great American Bash. Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, their interaction. And I really like what Samoa Joe did. He's the enforcer and everything else, but you come up and on the bad guy there, and he let him keep that leg lock on just a little bit longer. So I don't mind that based off of what Cole's done with Joe to this point. But yeah, I'm okay with what I saw NXT wise. Nothing.
It's good to see the fans react. Like they were in it for the women's match, and I'm like, they're standing up. That's good. Give me something.
What'd you think about that women's match?
I enjoyed it.
To me, it was like
Spot Fest.
Yeah, it was too much, especially like in the closing sequence when they went home for the finish. It was just one big move after the other, and then you get the finish. I'm not saying it just wasn't for me, so to speak. Those types of matches, like I said, they're hard to pull off with 3 women. Then you add you have 6 women total. To me, sometimes it just gets too convoluted and there's too much going on at once. You can't digest anything that's happened.
So what is that kind of match called? Because sometimes you see it where there's 2 people in the ring, but there's 3 tag teams and you tag. But
so yeah, I don't know if that was like Texas Tornado rules wise, where it was anybody can come in and out as much as you can come in and out without tagging. They didn't say, so like I watched it and I'm like, okay, is this not like we don't have to tag in and out in this match? Or was it triple threat rules with tag teams where everybody's? I don't know because they never explained it, so it didn't hit as well because they never explained it.
And that's what the commentary team's for, to explain that stuff. If they don't do a graphic, that's fine, but just say at some point, okay, this they didn't tag in because that's not the rules of the style of match or something. And
I didn't mind them two just being on commentary. Like I enjoyed Beth, but just having 2 just felt more. It felt better for me. Just having 2 going back and forth off each other instead of adding that third person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just lastly for me, NXT wise, this week, last night before SmackDown dark matches, you had Karrion Kross, Toni Storm, Shotzi Blackheart, and Adesi Jones all had dark matches last night. Kross and Shotzi, that's like 2 or 3 weeks in a row they've had matches. Kross had a main event match against Shelton. He had a match against Cesaro last night. So he's getting the run of true workers to get a report card on him. So we'll see if they take the belt off him like they did with Bronson. Yeah, you gotta know a call up is there. And no Scarlett with him again last night. So I don't know if they're not going to go with that on the main roster or what. But to me, that, like I said last week, that takes away from the presentation, and them 2 as a package are better than them 2 separate.
I agree.
And that can go into Vince being down to CWC, scouting out talent himself. Yeah.
Before we get into SmackDown, I thought one of them was going to be Sonya's next call-in. I thought it was going to be Toni for sure.
Yeah. Tony's interesting. I mean, say what you will, but her run on NXT since she's come back over hasn't been the greatest. Yeah, no. Been start-stop. And now she's looking to get bumped up. So I'm not mad if they bump her up. She's somebody that I could see on the main roster for sure. But yeah, it's just interesting, based off of what she's done so far and how that plays out to where she got a call up. So obviously Vince or Bruce or Johnny, somebody saw something while they were there over the last week between the 3 of them that said, hey, give her a dark match. And let's see what she can do. So, all right. Anything else from NXT wise?
So I keep seeing the battery keeps getting closer to the end of the charge. I think it'll happen either Great American Bash or the following week. I haven't heard. Originally I thought it was going to be Roderick Strong. I thought just being recharged, and then with him coming in with a diamond line, that's gone. So anybody have any thoughts on who they think it's going to be?
Well, I have no idea what you were talking about until now. Now I noticed it. Look,
it's been throughout the show the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
So I nitpick on this. I hate the battery because they put one in the first hour and then one in the second hour. Every week it charges 10% in the first hour. And then it takes a whole other week to charge another 10%. It's like,
you know what it is. Never know. You know what it is. The battery charges for what you gonna do, brother.
That would be the worst thing they would do.
That's been there's been a tight lid on that Just like there was a tight lid on Diamond Mine and what that was going to turn out to be.
That's good.
I'm glad Roddy's getting a shot, being the leader of a group. He's one of the best in-ring workers. Anybody that's been in the ring will say that about him. Adam Cole just said that about him in an interview this past week. So I'd like to see him get that shot. Malcolm Bivens is the mouthpiece for the group, is fantastic. So we'll see how they play out. But I think that they'll give a different presentation from factions and groups that we've seen before. So, you can have them, work with Hit Row, and there you can have, faction versus faction there. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with that. So, all right, Raw this week. I got nothing for Raw. I didn't watch one single minute of it. I was watching basketball.
I watched the main event. I watched the main event, and that was it. And I was like, I'm done.
Y'all missed Kofi and P not going at it, but they're promo.
So I caught the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
I flipped over, and people were singing the high praises for Kofi as if he cut one of the greatest babyface promos ever. I don't know. It didn't add anything to the build for Lashley and Kofi. I thought you could have let it breathe some more. If you were going to have them come out, I needed more fire out of Kofi since they took out Woods. Give me more fire. And then to have Woods come back this week, only out 1 week, that is what it is. But yeah, to me, it wasn't like, oh my God.
It was good. It was a good exchange, rather long, but it was good.
And that's the problem. They don't if it would have been shorter, it would have been better, in my opinion.
That's where they fall.
It went too long.
I saw somebody said Kofi should beat Lashley at Money in the Bank, and then Big E should win the Money in the Bank and cash in on Kofi.
Well, rumor is Big E's going to be moved to Raw in the draft, so you may see that.
Whatever I don't think they just need to put the three back together.
I don't think you take the strap off of Bobby at this point. So
not if depends on what you're doing for SummerSlam.
Yeah, if they're building to the match that's rumored, no, you don't take it off of him. But if that's not going to happen, then maybe you do go something like that. Just change the direction now.
And those rumors have turned more towards the negative as far as Lesnar coming back, not being there for SummerSlam. So,
he's still in Canada as of right now. The border's still closed. So,
yep,
that's a big thing probably for him to come back.
Yep. SmackDown last night, the last man standing match was good. We had the stipulation of an I Quit match added to Bayley and Bianca.
That I didn't like.
Well, at this point, they did WrestleMania, then they did WrestleMania Backlash, and Hell in a Cell. So at this point, you got to add a stipulation for them to have a match.
I didn't mind the I Quit. I didn't mind. I hated Bayley saying I quit SmackDown wrestling and the business altogether. Because then you're pretty much giving away the finish.
Maybe. Who knows? Bayley's had no time off during this pandemic. She carried the show. Not saying that she wants time off, but if we let her go away for a little bit.
So what'd she say? She's going to quit what?
She said she'll quit SmackDown, the business, and wrestling altogether if she loses.
She didn't say Raw.
So there's that. The last man standing, the last man standing match, Owens and Zayn. Those two don't miss at all. And then
I need a little more pause between that last power bomb. I need you to play that up big time.
If you could say it nitpicking wise, but
just nitpicking though.
And then Edge Roman and main event Jimmy Uso now instead of main event Jey Uso, but
Jimmy ain't Jay.
just furthering that storyline along. It was
I'm sure
good.
a lot of it's trying to get the ring rust off.
Yeah.
And Edge came out and cut the typical babyface promo to start the night, and then ended it with a vicious streak, which I think he needs to bring against Roman.
Yeah.
Obviously they're going with Roman, or they're going to go with Seth and Edge at SummerSlam. That's already planted. And Seth on what's the show that they
The bump.
no, not the bump, the one with Heyman and that
Talking
Smack last week with McAfee, saying he doesn't care what Edge wants. I'm the guy. I should get the shot. And last night said the same thing. So we're gonna get that, and we'll get Cena and Reigns.
I like when he came back and reintroduced himself. He was like, "Clearly, you guys don't know who I am, since you're overlooking me."
Yeah. So, but yeah, SmackDown was okay.
Vega.
Zelina Vega returning. What'd you guys think? Expected, unexpected? Were you surprised by it?
Unexpected for me.
I was surprised. I was expecting him to keep all up.
It then lost in the 3-minute match.
I didn't mind how she lost though.
They're telling that story with Liv, where she's just continuing to get overlooked each week, even though she's beating the people that are in the match. So she'll get added in the Friday night before the pay-per-view. Is what they'll do there.
I'm glad Zelina is actually wrestling this time around, because that was, as much as I liked her before in the ring, they just didn't do enough of ring work with her whenever she was with Andrade. So nice to see her just being a wrestler now.
Yeah. And then.
So now we don't know what Andrade's surprise is, because I think everybody expected it to be her.
Right. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Main roster wise, WWE wise. Couple other quick hitters from around the world in wrestling. AAA announced their full card for Triple Mania. And it will be main evented in a hair versus mask match with Psycho Clown versus Rey Scorpion. Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Idolo for the AAA Mega Championship. Deonna Purrazzo versus Fabi Apache for both the AAA Reina de Reyes and Impact Knockouts titles. That title versus title match. And then you have, the other stuff rounding off the card. Some 6-man tag matches. Lucha Brothers versus El Hijo del Vikingo and Laredo Kid versus Taurus and a mystery partner for the AAA tag team title. So another solid card for Triple Mania.
Who's the tag team champs going into that?
Lucha Brothers.
Lucha Brothers are.
Yep.
Is Phoenix back to normal?
He'll be healthy enough for the card on August 14th.
Yeah.
Unless something else happens. They have them listed down for that matchup. So there's that. And then ROH confirmed for their title match for Best in the World, their pay-per-view. You have Bandito versus Whoosh.
Should be a good match.
So a lot of Lucha Libre influences there.
How long's Roosh been champ?
A long time. Really long time.
You give Bandito the belt?
I think you do at this point.
Okay.
Because after this, it's kind of like who else are you gonna have go after Rush again? You know what I mean? Like
Bandito's a talent. He can go in the ring.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed him at All In.
Yeah.
And then watching him in ROH, like I've been really surprised at what he's done. MLW added a bunkhouse brawl match to Battle Riot 3 on July 10th. So not only are you getting the Battle Riot, you're getting a bunkhouse brawl match. And then
that's gotta be a 2-hour event then.
And then lastly, Lex Luger Icons comes out this weekend on the WWE Network. And Kevin Nash will be the next guest on the Broken Skull Sessions with Stone Cold.
Should be a good interview.
No interest in either.
I haven't watched RVD's Icons yet. I need to go back and watch that.
I didn't watch RVD's. I watched Yoko's.
Yeah, it's the only one I've watched, I think.
Yoko's was really good.
I think there was Beth in there, too. I don't think I watched Beth.
I'm meaning to watch Beth.
You got no interest in Nash on Broken Skull Sessions?
He has no interest in Nash.
You don't know me, Steve. You don't know me at all.
Those guys talked for years. I don't need to hear them talk again.
Anybody got anything else for Bell to Bell this week?
Nothing that we really need to elaborate on. I just kind of wanted to bring up this week 2 anniversaries. One was CM Punk's Pipe Bomb was its 10th anniversary, and then Austin 316 was celebrating its 25th anniversary.
I mean, there's none on the network.
Two iconic moments. No pun intended there. That's the Austin 316 said, "I just whooped your ass." That's what started it all. That was the launching pad to Stone Cold. They weren't expecting anything to come of that, and then they go to Raw the next night, and there's Austin 316 signs everywhere in the crowd. They knew right then. All right, we got you.
Wasn't that the number 1 selling shirt of all time? Beat out Hulkamania.
Man, it was hard to find those shirts too.
Yep.
This is like
that. And the Pipe Bomb. I went back and I reread the Pipe Bomb this morning. Somebody on Twitter tweeted out the full Pipe Bomb, and like reading it now and looking back, it's like I'm not gonna say it wasn't impactful or it didn't mean as much as did, but I don't know. It just wasn't as. It didn't hit the same for me reading it now, 10 years later.
Like for its time, it was very impactful. But now it seemed like every wrestler's trying to pull that off every week. It seemed like.
Yeah, but I don't associate the Pipe Bomb with the same reverence as like Dusty's Hard Times promo.
No.
Or some of the other iconic promos that you get. You know what I mean? Like. For me, at least. Now,
that's in the category of his own.
Yeah, it's 2 different type promos.
No, I mean everybody thinks of it as a shoot whenever it was at work. So it's like it is what it is. It's a promo. That's all you cut. It's a promo.
Yeah. So, and then one final question to round out Bell to Bell this week for you fellas. Chris, you brought this up as one of your topics, and I was going to hold it out, but now thinking about it, since fans are going to be coming back this week on Dynamite and that, and then we have fans MLW, and then the following week WWE gets their fans back. So the end of the pandemic wrestling era, as we know it, is looks like we're out of the back end of things, and we're going to be back to normal from a wrestling in front of crowd standpoint. Impact will have fans at Slammiversary. There will be fans at ROH's Best in the World pay-per-view. So it's going to be back. For this time frame, for this era, all the companies, who would you say handled the pandemic era the best, given the circumstances?
For me, consistently AEW. Like, I could watch their product consistently and enjoy it week to week for the most part. Not saying they didn't have their hiccups from time to time, but more consistent, I'm saying AEW.
So they handled it the best given the circumstances.
Yeah.
Show-wise, presentation-wise.
Match-wise,
ideas-wise on how to work around not having fans.
Yeah.
That whole bit.
I like
because weren't they the first ones that have, like, you know, their talent as fans, you know, so it can give you that feeling. Because Because when WWE did it, like with no fans at all, that was rough.
It was.
That was very rough watching.
I like WWE with the Thunderdome, but I also like Impact just going straight through.
Impact going straight through with no fans was a more enjoyable watch for me than WWE with no fans.
I didn't like whenever I watched Impact with the fake crowd noise. I don't need that.
Which one?
Just Impact in general.
Oh, I mean, the fake crowd noise altogether just was too much for me. You give me the NXT banging on the glass, that was perfect. The AEW with the
with the Thunderdome, I mean, at least you have the look of the crowd out there to justify the crowd noise. With Impact, it's no crowd and you're getting noise, and I don't like that. To me, that loses the presentation.
But your wrestling has to be on point.
And they didn't do that a ton either, though. They didn't overkill that.
It just anytime I heard it, it just didn't click with me at all.
So, Jay, you think WWE did the best out of any company?
I mean, I wouldn't pick. I'd just say kudos to all four. To everybody who did, because
they all did their best.
I watched everything and enjoyed everything.
Yeah, I mean,
if we were to add, what did I like the most? I liked NXT, just with the fan, or like with when they brought the talent in as thing, and they had the glass. I just added a whole nother feel to it.
See, the CWC doesn't do anything for me. I don't like the presentation there. I liked it better.
Even when it was the PC.
I would say AEW did the best. WWE just has the money, so like they could do all the LED screens and that. But I never like. To me, I don't. It just didn't. It didn't feel. It never clicked with me. It never felt like that's something that I want to see on a weekly basis. I get the idea behind it, the concept behind it, and you have the money to pull that off, where you could have hundreds of LED screens and have people join in to look like they're in a crowd there. But to me, it just never caught on with me, like how I guess it resonated with other people. So all right.
We'll miss when we go back to live, because I'm going to miss the crash pads.
Well, that's the thing. You had like Ricochet and Morrison. You had Ricochet pull off that cross body, which was crazy, but it was all done with camera cuts, and tricks. And then you go Dynamite. You have Sammy Guevara do the leap on the MJF live right there in the crowd with people there, and it's like, to me, that's more impressive than Ricochet's with the camera cuts.
And Lana was talking this week with Jericho how much they would, because they weren't being live and having to retape spots for Raw. So it's just like, is that going to be an issue for the talent? Having to go back to completely live again.
No. They'll have that repetition of being on the road.
Yeah.
With the house shows. So
that means no more Roman throwing Dominic out the ring again.
All right. Anybody got anything else for Brother Bell?
Good.
Well, in homage to the 25th anniversary of Austin 316, old Double S here said it's time to crack a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
That double S stands for SummerSlam, right?
Yeah. This week's Drink of the Week segment is brought to you by 4th of July cookouts and knowing when to cut family members off.
Is that a warning for you, or?
No, not a warning for me. So this week we will be doing the Ellicottville Brewing Company Orange Chocolate Blonde Ale. and it's like it's with the Platter's Chocolate Factory. 16-ounce can here. Like the look of the can. 7.1% alcohol by volume. It's a rich, flavorful blonde ale with decadent milk chocolate and zesty orange aroma. So I picked this out because of the can, as well as I figured it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be really good or it's going to be trash.
I love Lucy.
So, the can look like Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
I was thinking I Love Lucy.
That's what I was going with, the I Love Lucy chocolate episode with the bonbon. So, you smell the orange. There's no hiding that. Okay, I got the aromas that it's giving me. It's telling me what I'm going to be tasting on my palate.
Yeah, the orange is strong.
I'll taste the orange.
Here's the orange on the back end.
The initial taste was but it's getting better.
Can definitely taste the orange and the chocolate.
Yeah, this is one where like you have flavors and you can actually pick up both flavors. One doesn't overpower the other one. I'm getting more orange on the back end of it. The chocolate to me, I can taste more up front.
Mm-hmm.
But I really enjoy this. This is another blonde ale. We just had another blonde ale recently that we really like. This one's another one that, for being a blonde ale and the flavor combination, I like this. It's a little heavy. I wouldn't be pounding down a ton of these. But to buy it in a 4-pack that it came in, I'm good with this. Chris, you got a little bitter beer face going on over there. What are you thinking?
My taste buds are so confused because whenever you get like the orange chocolate, you're expecting a stout, and that to go. So like it's like the blonde ale and everything. The taste with that, it's really confusing me right now.
I wouldn't have paired orange and chocolate together.
No, not at all.
Chocolate and strawberry, chocolate raspberry.
You never had one of those orange chocolate balls on Easter?
Nah.
It works.
No, it definitely works. Like I said, I'm surprised at how well it works together, with both being out there from a flavor standpoint. All right, let's go around the horn here. What do you guys think for the orange blonde ale from Ellicottville Brewing Company?
$2.75.
That's pretty high for you.
Mm-hmm. I give it a 2.
It was terrible, but it got better. So
I'll give it a 2. I'm not a fan of chocolate taste all like that, so it's not hitting with me right.
I don't hate it. I don't love it though either. It's the thing that I like most, because sometimes my biggest complaint is that you don't taste the flavors.
Mm-hmm.
You're tasting that orange and the chocolate. That's immediate. You smell it. I'm going to go 2.25.
I'll go 3.16.
See what you did there.
You better have another beer there to clang together.
Yeah. Did you ever hear him tell that story on Pat McAfee's show?
No.
All right, so sidebar real quick. Pat McAfee had Stone Cold on and asked him what's the most beers he ever drank in a night. And he told a story about one time they were over in Japan, and it was him, the Dudleys, Stacy Keebler, a couple other people, and they went through about 108 or 112 beers.
Jeez.
And he said for himself, he would always have 12 to 18 beers out there for himself. And he was like, people always say, hey, you get more on you than you're drinking. And he was like, listen, motherfuckers, like, I'm clanking them together and I'm drinking them. Half of it's going on me. That's for the crowd, or that's for the crowd. The other half I'm drinking. If I would just sip it like this, how entertaining would that be? Like, but if you're out there with an 18 pack and you're drinking half of that 18 pack, he goes, you're gonna walk through the curtain with a long buzz. He was like, I was the man for the job. But yeah, no, I'll go with a solid 3.16 for the Orange Blonde Ale. And with that being said, if you see it out, pick it up. The beer distributor that we went to, first beer distributor I've ever been to that had no price tags. Nothing was priced until we got up to the register.
And at one point, we were running the store.
Couple times.
Little bit sticker shock based off of what I paid for the beers that I bought, but it's all due in the name of research and development, R&D for this show and this segment. So with that, we ask that you pick up your bottles, cans, brown paper bags, shot glasses, solo cups, red and blue, whatever you're drinking out of this week, and raise them high as to good ships and wood ships and ships that sail the seas. But the best ships are friendships, and friends will always be. Salute. All right, this week in sports, not necessarily a good week in sports. For stuff that went on here. I guess the big news to come out yesterday was the 30-day suspension for Sha'Carri Richardson, the track star. She won't be allowed to run in the Olympic 100-meter race due to a 1-month ban for a positive marijuana test. She may be able to compete in the relays for the relay teams that she does run on. I'm not sure if she runs the 200 or the 400 relay team, but disappointing, to say the least. I think we need to get over the fact that why are we still testing and banning people for marijuana? It's legal in 19 states.
Yeah, but this isn't a regional event. This is a worldwide event, and it's still illegal in most of the world. And the Olympics are a worldwide
sport. About that, I mean, there's
I'm sure it's being done in the plaza as the Olympics go on.
Oh, probably. Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she came out and admitted, hey, I did it. I knew the ramifications. If I were to get caught, I get caught. I understand it. She was dealing, with the passing of her biological mother. So, whether it was, due to grief or whatever the case may be, we don't even need to question those things for her. The circumstances surrounding why she decided to light up a joint or hit a bull, it really doesn't matter. In my estimation, she shouldn't be suspended. She should be able to compete. It's not a performance enhancing drug. It does nothing to make her run faster when she's out on the track. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, some of these things gotta get updated.
It sucks. I don't have a problem with her doing it, but at the same time, she's been training for how long for the Olympics? This isn't something that she just decided to do. She knows that it's not legal, and she knew like she said, she knew the ramifications.
Yeah,
I know, but
I'm torn between both sides.
Yeah,
but to think about that aspect, when you have 4 years to train to run 10 seconds.
Yes.
Right? Usain Bolt had that quote. I tweeted that out, or I said that on the show to close the show a couple of weeks ago. Usain Bolt said, I trained 4 years to run 9 seconds, and people give up after 2 months of not seeing results. To think about that concept and the amount of work that goes into that, and then to have something happen in your personal life that causes you to feel however you're feeling. And I've lost a parent, and I know plenty of people that have lost parents and loved ones in that, and people all grieve in different ways. But to be in that situation to where that the 4 years worth of training and everything else, you have to do this certain thing to help you cope and get through that. In a state where it's legal and she's allowed to do it, it just, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I get the argument from both sides. I really do, and I understand it. To me, it's something that doesn't need to be. It's not something that should be tested for. There's not been one test done on marijuana in any sport that says it's a performance-enhancing drug, or it helps you perform better. Especially in your contact sports where the medicinal benefits of it for pain and everything else have been researched and shown. What it does for other diseases, cerebral Parkinson's, like it cuts all the shakes out. Like medicinally, it's been proven to have the positive effects that opioids and Toradol and all this other stuff that you're giving to athletes. That they don't have, but yet we're still suspending and banning people because of a plant. Just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me in 2021.
Maybe this is the start of things changing.
Yeah.
It sucks that it has to happen, but progress has to start somewhere, right?
Learning experience.
Yeah, but I mean, what's the learning experience that you even draw on at this point, though, Jay? Like, don't do it because you could have your dreams taken away from you for using something to help you cope through a extremely emotional event in your life. Like, I'm not going to tell nobody, hey, don't do this because you suspended and you can have your Olympic dreams dashed because of a smoking a plant to help you grief with the loss of a loved one. Like, to me, I don't know what you learn from that situation that you take away.
I see both sides. I do. I truly do see both sides.
And everybody's different in dealing with their grief and everything. So it's hard to say, like to tell, like Steve was saying, it's hard to say to somebody, this is what you don't do this or don't do that. But
yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I don't think anything's going to change. Nothing's going to come from it. Like, I still think she's going to have to serve out the month ban. I don't think she'll be allowed with that. And then
Olympic Committee is a lot like NCAA. Once they rule on something, they're firm
tough.
on it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're besides her suspension for marijuana and that the other bad look this week that came out, and I saw this earlier in the week and sent this tweet to my wife, the article itself that came out, but FINA, FINA, is the organization that oversees the swimming events in the Olympics. But they ruled that no athletes can wear swim caps from the Black-owned swim brand Soul Cap, who designs swim caps for natural black hair and other voluminous hair types. Those have been banned from the Olympics. A lot of backlash with this ruling and decision to come out.
Is there a reason why?
They said that no athletes need caps of such size, and the caps don't follow the natural form of the head.
But for swimming, if you have more hair, it's going to slow you down in the pool.
Correct.
Yeah. So then, what's the point then?
That makes no sense.
I mean, is there a regulation size cap? I mean,
that would give them a disadvantage. Like you're slowing yourself down. So,
but if it made it this far, how is it banned for the Olympics?
Hold on, I can pull up the article that I sent to my wife to give you the.
I'll tell you what. You try to tame black hair.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know. I mean, I know for my daughter being mixed race, like doing her hair is a chore. Like,
I bet it is.
The amount of time and everything else, like it's a struggle. And there's no amount of product that we can put in her hair that will make it stay down. Like it's gonna be poofy and it's gonna be out. So to try to get her to put on a regular size swim cap to swim wouldn't happen. It wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to get the cap to sit properly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's her. Like I could see how, you know, women of color aren't able to do that for their hair as well. Like it's something that just doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It's like aerodynamics. You know, the flatter the surface, the more, you know, air that's going to go past you, make you go faster. So if you have the cap that's going to be up a little more, that's a disadvantage to the swimmer. But if that's their choice to wear it, that's their choice.
Yeah. That's a force against the water more than
yeah.
So the initial article that I saw before like this actually picked up steam and people started, you know, sending it around on the World Wide Web. It came from metro.co.uk.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, while swimming caps of certain size and specifications are approved to be worn at the Olympics and international competitions, these larger caps that are designed by SoulCap, produced by SoulCap, are not allowed, and athletes will not be able to compete while wearing one. The swimming caps were barred by FINA on the grounds that, to their best knowledge, the athletes competing at the international events never used, neither required to use, caps of such size and configuration. Pause right there. So they're saying, to the best of their knowledge, athletes that competing to this point have never used caps of this size. If you look back through the history of Olympic swimming and just, you know, international swimming competitions in general, this coming Olympics, I've seen more Black women swimmers than I think I've seen in my entire life so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that to me is a moot point because you've never had this many women of color participating in Olympic swimming or international swimming events.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes no sense if that's one of the things that you're going to base your ruling on.
And then plus, if they was doing them because the Olympics got bumped back a year, so they must have been training with them since 2019.
Yeah,
somebody had to know about these caps, before then too. So where's that at? But now all of a sudden, the Olympics is a couple weeks away. This now comes up.
They should have been ruled last year when the Olympics were supposed to happen, and not now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the founders of SoulCap came out and said, how do we achieve participation and representation in the world of competition swimmers if the governing body stops suitable swimwear being available to those who are underrepresented? It's 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
They pay some money to the Olympics. I'm sure they'll be legal next time.
I mean, it
makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all.
Makes no sense.
Now we're in Speedo.
Like I said, all the rules for the Olympics should have been done last year. There shouldn't have been any changes made for this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I said. Like they had a whole year and a half to figure all this stuff out. It's like whenever somebody first competed with that hat on, somebody should have saw it and be like, wait, what's this? Way before the trials, way before everything.
No.
So the brand itself, SoulCap, was created in 2017. And since that time, they've provided 40,000 swim caps to swimmers globally. And they've partnered with the elite swimmer Alice Deering, who is set to make history as the first Black woman to represent Great Britain in swimming at the Olympics.
So there you go. They have 4 years.
Yeah.
So this isn't something.
If anything, you look at the Olympics this year and then make your ruling after for the next round. You don't do it, within a month of them starting.
Yeah.
So not
because all these people have trained with it, like you said, Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good look. Not a good look for the Olympics.
Tells you how out of touch they are.
Yeah, and then so moving on from the Olympics with not the best of light shed on them, coming up to the games in Tokyo. Shift over to the NCAA and the name, image, and likeness ruling that came down from the Supreme Court Justice as of Thursday on Bobby Bonilla Day. which I thought was rather ironic considering Bobby Bonilla, who signed the greatest buyout clause in contract history, continues to get $1 million every year until 2035.
This day comes around twice a year. I swear it does.
I actually found out he gets paid by the Orioles too, like a contract like that for to pay $500,000 a year until 2029.
So he's getting $2 million a year. Hasn't played baseball in how long?
Double dipping.
So yeah, such a great.
So you said the Orioles is 2029. When's the other contract up?
2035.
2035 is the Mets.
Yeah,
that's
so he'll be 72.
Plan.
He'll be 72. That's the Mets is more prominent because that's the most. But I also found out other players is getting that stuff too. Like Manny Ramirez is still getting paid off by the Red Sox. Also,
that's tremendous.
So
that's
baseball
the American dream retirement.
Wow.
Right there.
So yeah, baseball boy. Woo. Yeah, I should be stuck with it.
Pirates paying anybody?
No. No, Pirates aren't paying. Pirates aren't paying anybody.
What? They can't even get a real contract.
With the name image licensing to come down, some endorsement deals were already struck on Thursday. I believe that the first college athletes to sign an endorsement deal were two twin sisters. I want to say they're from. I believe they play at either Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. And their last names are slipping my mind right now, so forgive me. But they had a billboard up in Times Square announcing their deal with the company, and that was the first of a college athlete to sign. But listen to some of these examples of NCAA athletes who had their careers taken away from them based off of this quote unquote amateurism rule that the NCAA laid on so thick up until this Supreme Court ruling. And these are all from Jeremy Bloom. Those of you that don't remember Jeremy Bloom, he was a wide receiver in an NFL. He was also an Olympic skier. And he dealt with issues with the NCAA in his time in college at Colorado. But he tweeted out a couple of examples. He goes, I can't stop thinking about Brittany Collins, a talented tennis player at UMass who had her career erased by the NCAA because of an accounting error that amounted to $252. Can't stop thinking about Donald De La Haye, and I probably pronounced that last name wrong. Forgive me, but he was a scholarship kicker at UCF who declared permanently ineligible by the NCAA for having a YouTube channel. So I remember that story. He was a huge YouTuber back before like YouTube influencers were a big thing, right? Huge YouTuber, was getting paid based off of his YouTube channel, and the NCAA ruled him permanently ineligible, and he wasn't allowed to play college football. And another example is Aaron Adair, a young man who the NCAA kicked off the Oklahoma baseball team because he wrote a book about surviving brain cancer.
Wow.
So this young man went through and survived brain cancer, decided to write a book about it to help other individuals who have fought and survived brain cancer. And the NCAA kicked him off the team and ruled him ineligible because he made money off of that book. So when you hear stories like that, and those are just three examples to the debacle that came out with Reggie Bush this week with him, with his tweets that he sent out to have his records reinstated and to have the NCAA to give him his Heisman Trophy back because they took it away based off of benefits that his parents received and not him. And nobody from the NCAA returned phone calls to his representation or himself. The individuals that they did speak with at the NCAA and even the Heisman Trophy Committee, they gave him, we will not speak to you or your representation.
I saw the big thing this week. Everybody was saying, okay, it's time to start doing lawsuits for back damages. If that happens, NCAA, absolutely, as you know it, is gone.
It's done. Oh, yeah.
And then it's coming back with a vengeance, and it's going to be worse than what what the one was before.
No, it'll be done. They'll move on.
They'll be bankrupt.
There'll be a new organization that comes from the fire.
I mean, we heard rumors and rumblings, over the years as far as like with football itself, but with the Power 5 schools starting up their own league and breaking away from the NCAA. This is just the tip of the iceberg. What sunk the Titanic has just hit the NCAA. So what you see on the surface is not the full picture of what's going to come out and what's going to happen over the course of the next several months and years, and probably a decade or two later, before we actually see the true full ramifications of this decision by the Supreme Court to say, hey, you're liable to fall under antitrust laws, and you can no longer stop people from earning a living.
Now, can you differentiate? Can you differentiate the two between like earning a living and pay to play?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. Now, some would say that those waters get muddied, and that's the gray area that they're going to have to work through over the next couple of years. But to me, if I'm a 4-star, defensive tackle, and I get a scholarship to Florida State to play football, and there's a car dealership down there that wants to use me to endorse Chevrolets, like, I can get that money because that's it, built off of what I've done so far. To me, that's not pay for play.
You're using my likeness,
right? Now,
but then
when you get into the pay for play thing, is where like you have, your Bamas, your LSU, your Texas, your even Michigan, based off of their alumni, where you have alumni that have a lot of money and they give a lot of money to the programs. On these recruiting trips, it's, hey, you come here and we'll give you X amount, but we'll say it's for your name, image, and likeness because we'll sign you up with so and so's marketing firm or so and so's oil company, or whatever the case may be. That's where the issues are going to come in.
Now, I mean, is that now? But like say back then, it ain't no like I gave your mama a house for you to come play for us. That'd be different, right?
Yeah, that's why Reggie Bush lost all his records and was blackballed from USC and lost his Heisman Trophy. That's it. That's the exact example right there.
Yeah.
You look no further than Reggie Bush, and his thing, to them was those records and that Heisman Trophy and everything else. That was based off of my on the field performance. It had nothing to do with my parent. I didn't benefit from that. They weren't paying me. So yeah, like, why? I don't understand why I'm being punished. So, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting to watch coming forward, and seeing it. But there's so many of those examples of individuals.
Yeah, like the small stuff that you said, those will go past with like the judge and all that stuff. The small stories, like the examples that Steve were given. Yeah, like they'll be more sympathetic to that. Like $250. Like, come on now.
$252 on it, and it was an accounting errre.
Yeah,
so it wasn't even like she actually got the $252.
Yeah, yeah, like $250, and then the president is there making millions off the school. Like, come on now.
Sticking with people that make a lot of money, Lionel Messi's 4-year, $674 million contract with Barcelona officially expired this past week. Fueling speculation that his 20-year run with the club could be coming to an end. Messi wanted out of Barcelona last year, but he, stayed and fulfilled his contract because they weren't going to release him from that. $674 million contract. For soccer players, people don't realize
they can make it back.
The amount of money that soccer players make. And I know it's because we live in America and it's not the most popular sport in America, but it's the most popular sport in the world. And you can look no further than the Euros going on right now, the Copa America Cup that's going on right now. The CONCACAF Cup just ended a couple of weeks ago. USA won that, but soccer across the globe is by far the most popular sport, and the amount of money these players are making is insane. So, well, we're shocked that Patrick Mahomes signs a $500 billion deal. It's like, yo, Ronaldo and Messi are looking at him like, you peasant. Like, like, I got bank. What are you talking about?
Because don't the soccer clubs have to pay like transfer fees and stuff like that, which are like,
well, not only are they
millions.
Yeah, not only are they playing the player, but then they're paying the transfer fee to the player's former club. So like Harry Kane, who's a prominent English footballer, he's rumored to be. He wants out of his deal with his current club now, and he wants to sign with Manchester City. And right now, the early speculation is that if Man City were to sign Harry Kane and acquire him, they would owe a $135 million transfer fee.
That's just the fee. That's not the contract.
That's not the contract. That's the fee. Yeah, exactly. So like when you hear those deals and it's insane when you factor in the transfer fee on top of the contract and everything else to have these players move from team to team. But yeah, that's just insane. So yeah, there's that. One bright spot from a Pittsburgh perspective in the world of professional baseball. Lord knows it's not the Pirates. They lost again last night, so they finished the first half of the season 29-52. Losers of 5 straight. 29-52.
A for effort.
No, they don't even get an A for effort.
Not the worst. What is it?
Surprisingly, it's not the worst record. That's surprisingly. They were last I saw. I believe they were in 3rd place, but that was before this last 5-game losing streak. So I don't know if they moved up, but the Diamondbacks were worse than them at one point in the season. They had 23 wins at one point in the season. So,
but the Pirates was like won 6 out of their 9 games, and everybody was like, "Yep, here we go." Come on now, man.
So I'll circle back to the Pirates after this here, but Will Bednar, who is a pitcher from Mars, PA, not too far from Pittsburgh, but he started Game 3 of the College World Series for Mississippi State, and they beat Vanderbilt 9-3, I think, or 9-2 was the final of the Game 3. So congratulations to him for winning the College World Series. And what was interesting is that him and his brother, they needed a place to pitch growing up, and they didn't have anywhere around them, so they built a pitching mound in their backyard. So you like to hear stories from that, local kids doing what they got to do to succeed, and obviously he's done what he's had to do there. But yeah, just I don't know. It's insane. And Donald, to circle back to the Pirates, this is where the organization is just, you need to get rid of nutting immediately. Pirates have the number 1 pick.
How many years do we have to say that though?
Well, wait. This is like if it wasn't hit home before, this is really gonna do it for you. Okay. Pirates have the number 1 pick in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft, right?
Sure.
R.J. Anderson was on 93.7 The Fan this week, and he said the Pirates have narrowed it down to 4 to 5 players. The player that will take the lowest signing bonus is going to be the player that they draft with that number 1 pick.
It's terrible.
Wow. So what's the point?
Let's not worry about building any type of winner.
So what's the point? For that, they might as well just trade the pick for prospects.
Which is what they'll do eventually anyways.
Might as well.
How many players, period, that they've drafted actually make it onto the team? Because they always trade them for prospects.
Well, not only that, but this whole thing of not paying draft.
It's all about money.
you saw that for whenever they were in the midst of their 20-year losing streak, they wouldn't draft a Scott Boras client number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4 overall because of the signing bonus that they would demand. So they just automatically said, hey, whatever player is represented by Scott Boras, we're not signing. But to go in with the number 1 pick, and you have some studs. You have some studs that 4 to 5 players. There's legitimately 4 to 5 players that you could take number 1 overall, and yes, some of those are pitchers, but there's a catcher in there, and I believe a shortstop or a right fielder. But to say whoever's going to take the least amount of money, that's who we're drafting number 1. That's how you're doing your rebuild.
It's a waste of a pick.
That's how people are supposed to be excited to come back to the ballpark.
And right there, I'll demand the highest contract just so I don't have to go to them.
As a player, yeah. How do you take that as a player?
You don't. I'm not playing for you.
I'm not playing. Yeah, I demand the highest contract. I'd be like, man, my signing bonus is $1 billion.
You don't want to
be so I don't have to play for them.
You're not getting the.
You don't want to be a number 1 pick overall.
No,
exactly.
You're not getting a true number 1 pick. Then you're getting like a 3rd, 4th round pick.
So we're going to pay the least amount of signing bonus for the number 1 overall pick. Oh, and hey, no wonder why we only drew 11,000 fans the other night whenever it was open to full attendance, and we're back, big promotion. Hey, come out to the ballpark, support the Pirates, this and that. You drew 11,000 people and you got spanked. It's a fucking joke. Absolute joke.
Mm-hmm. Yep, as a player, I will do that. I'll be like, you know what? $1 billion. I know you ain't going to pay it because I know you ain't going to sign me. So thank you. You saving my career. You saving my career. You're like, you saving my career. Thank you.
Yeah.
Side note, real quick, just a couple quick hitters, and then we can jump into one gotta go. NHL, the Tampa Bay Lightning won again last night, so they're up 3-0 on the Habs. That looks to be a sweep. That series is done, so the Lightning will go back to back unless some hockey miracle happens. I don't foresee it.
Next game is Monday, so we'll see if they sweep.
NBA playoffs, the Phoenix Suns advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993. First team ever to have a 10-year span of not making the playoffs and then going directly to the NBA Finals. Chris Paul gets his first trip in year 16.
You want to ask me a question?
And he awaits the winner of the Hawks and Bucks series, who are dealing with the main stars being injured. Trae Young, I believe, is doubtful again. And Giannis has already been rolled out. So we'll see what happens. Milwaukee won the other night. So they were up 3-2. And
I saw a cool stat on that saying whatever team wins the finals out of these last 3, none of the rosters, like none of the players on the rosters won a championship ever.
Yeah.
So this will be their first time, like the players. This will be the first time ever winning.
You want to ask that CP question, or you want to save it?
No, we'll save that. I want to see what happens in the finals, and we'll save that.
And on that, Cam Johnson from Our Lady Sacred Heart,
Whippio boy,
first in 47 years. 47 years of playing the finals.
Yep. And what's crazy is I didn't even know he was a Whippio kid. I knew he went to transfer to North Carolina to finish out his career, but yeah, congratulations to him. First Whippio kid to play in the finals in 47 years. So, all right, with that, that's this week in sports. Shout out, follow along, let us know what you think of the segment and some of the topics we've discussed. And with that being said, let's get into the world-renowned, world-famous, highly favored because I win every week show/segment. One gotta go.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
You can respond by giving a bad take on this. One gotta go. All right, so one gotta go this week. We have ice cream. I figure holiday weekend, you want to be grilling out, barbecuing, desserts, Well, let's go. Franchises out of the 4 ice cream franchises here: Brewster's, Dairy Queen, Baskin Robbins, Cold Stone Creamery. Which one got to go?
I'll start it off and do the top down. Been to all of them. For me, whenever I want ice cream, I go more soft serve than hard ice cream.
That's what she said.
That's why I said ice cream. So Dairy Queen, that can stay. Cold Stone, I know they mix it up so that I like their product. I think they have decent stuff. Between Brewster's and Baskin Robbins, I was actually going to knock Brewster's off the list originally, but they actually, because there's hardly any around anymore. But there's
just opened one up by me.
Yeah, they just opened one up. So
did they? I thought they were gone.
No, at the
Squirrel Hill.
Yeah, it's at the top of the Homestead High Level Bridge.
Delmar Strip.
Same shopping center where Dunkin' Donuts is at.
Got you.
Parking sucked there before; it's going to suck even more now. So now that I can actually get Brewster's again, they're going to stay. I'm going to knock Baskin Robbins off my list.
Ooh, 31 flavors. You're kicking the 31 flavors off the list?
I'm going to kick them off.
Jason, what do you got?
Love Cold Stone. Put gummy bears and everything. It has candy, so it has candy, so that's the first one staying. I don't know why. I've never had Brewster's, so I might have to kick that off the list. Even though every Dairy Queen I went to is kind of like cheap, and the one by Donald is closing, so half off cakes up there.
No. The one by me's not closing.
The one by Gateway Grill's closing.
The one by Gateway Grill's closing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the one by me.
But they got the little what is your shakes called? The Blizzards.
The Blizzards.
I'm gonna kick Brewster's off because I never had it. So,
Donald?
I love 31 Baskin Robbins. Just because that was the birthday card thing you got in the mail back when you were younger. You got that free ice cream cone, so that was cool. Dairy Queen is staying for me just because it's Dairy Queen. Never had Cold Stone before. Never did. I just don't know why. I just never came across one. But I would pick that over Brewster's. I never liked Brewster's at all. There was just something wrong with the taste of their ice cream. So Brewster's got to go.
Brewster's is a down south franchise. First time I had Brewster's was down in Georgia whenever I used to go visit my aunt and uncle.
Because they know how to do ice cream.
Yeah, so that seeing them up north was a shock whenever they started opening up franchises up here. They used to have one over in Norfolk Sales, one in Penn Hills. The one in Penn Hills is an Avis car rental place, and it still has the Brewster's awning and everything else.
Yep. Yes, it does.
The one in Norfolk Sales.
The one in Norfolk Sales became a Hooks.
Yeah.
It's actually active now.
Yeah. So Brewster's. That to me, I keep Brewster's on the list. Dairy Queen. That's like a staple at this point in our lives. The Blizzard, Butterfinger Blizzard, hands down. Reese Pieces Blizzard, top second. Baskin Robbins, I'm not going to knock 31 flavors. The mint chocolate chip milkshake is probably my favorite thing there. Cold Stone, it's just too much, man.
The best one on the list?
It's too. Listen, if you're putting gummy bears in ice cream, I'm kicking you off the list.
You're doing something right.
I'm kicking you off the list.
We gotta make it. We gotta make a trip.
I don't need the Subway Panda Express of ice cream. Okay? I don't need that. That's not something that I want in my ice cream decisions. I will give me strictly what's on your menu, and I will make my decision off of that. I don't need to
with some redfish.
Not gonna lie, getting processed like I'm building a Moe's taco pack. But yeah, Cold Stone for me got to go off this list.
You lost.
A nice variation we have this week,
Yeah. So tweet at us, hit us up on Facebook, comment on YouTube when we release it, but let us know what you think. Which one got to go this week for ice cream franchises? All right. With that being said, I won again. So let's go to final thoughts.
All right, boys and girls, thanks for tuning into episode 44 of the Dumb Marks Podcast. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, like and follow our social medias at Dumb Marks Pod, so you can get notifications every week when we go live. Our audio-only edition of the podcast is released every Monday to listen on demand on all your favorite podcast platforms. And don't forget that our official Dumb Marks merch is now available to purchase at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. And Pro Wrestling Tees is currently offering 20% off all orders. The sale is going on now through Monday, July 5th at 1 p.m.
Yep.
Gentlemen,
So
anything else?
pull the trigger. Go get some merch. Shout you out on the show. Before we wrap up, I sent. Do you have that graphic up, Chris? Yep. All right, let's get into this.
I've been working the whole show. Trying to get my math right.
So, with it being 4th of July weekend and cookouts and everything else, I saw this and I figured this would be a good way to wrap up this week's show. So, you have build your 4th of July fantasy lineup. You have $20 total. You have main course, side 1, side 2, a beverage, and dessert. So, who would like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Jay, what do you got?
One, the slander is chicken being $1. That's terrible. I'm going main course, burgers and chicken. Side dish.
So you're at wait, burgers and chicken. So you're at $4 there. Okay.
$4. Side dish, I'm going mac and cheese.
So you're up to $9.
Side dish number 2, I'm going deviled eggs and baked beans.
So you're at $14, $17. You have $3 left.
And then I'm going with lemonade.
No dessert at all.
No dessert.
No dessert from the sweets guy.
No dessert.
Wow. Okay. Donald, what you got?
That's shocking. For me, from the main course, I am going ribs and hot dogs.
So that's 7.
I will go the side dishes, mac and cheese.
12.
Side dish 2, deviled eggs and baked beans.
17. You're at $20 right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No drink.
No.
Be prepared for the hive, like Donald.
That's it. That's it. I don't need no drink.
Old dry parched food palette over there.
I'm coming to eat.
Oh man.
If you didn't do math, he'd probably kept going.
Remember, no water, because that's $1.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah, don't eat it. This dude's wow. Okay. All right, Chris.
You don't need any of that.
All right, I'm gonna be the only person that actually goes for all 5. I'm gonna go ribs, mac and cheese, baked beans, iced tea, and then cherry pie.
Okay.
Wait a minute, do the math.
Ribs, mac and cheese, that's 10. Baked beans, that's 13.
Iced tea's 2.
Iced tea's 15, and then cherry pie's 20. All right.
I can drink some
25s in there.
I'm going. Hold on, I got to make sure I did my math right here. I'm going chicken. I'm going potato salad.
Whoa.
It's 5. I'm going corn. That's what, 7. I'm going beer. That's 11.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then I got. Wait, I did that wrong. What did I do?
You want to know the meat. I know you want to know the meat.
Oh, hold on, because I did.
That's what she said.
Wait, I might have did something wrong here. Chicken,
Fluffer.
potato salad, that's 5. Corn. Yeah, okay, wait, hold on.
The guy who touted that he had the best list.
I do. I forgot to write write it down. I'm a dumb mark that forgot to write it down, and
That
then
man was getting off the ballpark.
I lost track of my total. So I got chicken, potato salad. That's 5. I got baked beans and corn. That's 10. I got beer. That's 14. And then with my last $6, I'm going cookies, ice cream sandwich, and the pops, the rocket pops.
Okay.
Wrong.
I had to figure out my math there.
Wrong. If you don't have deviled eggs on the list, you're wrong altogether. Anyway.
Yo, it depends, because if you have the devil egg sitting out,
Man, I eat them regardless, man.
Getting that bubble guts a little bit later on.
Yeah, no.
Game over.
I'll risk it. If you deviled eggs.
And deviled eggs is one of those things, just like potato salad. I got to know who's making it. If my wife's making it, I'm eating it.
Did you pick potato salad?
Yeah, I picked potato salad.
That's why I took it off the list, because only one person can make it, and they ain't here no more. So,
yeah, no, I took it. There's 2 people's I'll eat. I'll eat my mother's, and I'll eat my wife's. Other than that, I'm not touching potato salad. And no, this isn't the white guy picking potato salad because I like raisins in it. So no, we can end that discussion right there.
The Karen.
I have never had potato salad with raisins in it.
Yeah,
that's just wrong.
So, with that being said, hit us up. Let us know what your 4th of July fantasy lineup would be as far as spread goes. Nothing. Hey, you can't go wrong with any of those choices. Although Donald's gonna be.
He gonna be.
Wait, let me get a sip.
Hey, the baked beans liquid is good enough for me. No, that's it. I'm coming to eat.
Sitting out in the sun, just sweltering with just nothing to drink. Stay full of food.
If you put cold ribs on it, unless somebody changed it.
That's what barbecue sauce is for.
Wow. All right. Well, shout out to everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. We appreciate you guys. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Don't blow off any fingers.
Be safe.
Be safe. And let's not be the people that shoot off fireworks till 3-4 in the morning either. All right.
Go watch them. Don't shoot them off.
Yeah. And with that, 4th of July, I figured I'd close down with a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, "True patriotism springs from a belief in the dignity of the individual, freedom, and equality, not only for Americans, but for all people on earth." So with that being said, enjoy the holiday. Wave your sparklers. I still write my name in sparklers.
Don't wave your sparklers, because I'm a
4-year-old kid. And with that, thanks for tuning in this week. You're a Mark. I'm a Mark. Tell a Mark. And until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.